Hello, I'm Dominic Walker, JMW's Inside Man. Now, you may have seen in the press this week about a court case about a smart doorbell. Laura Wilkinson is an associate solicitor at JMW and she specialises in media and data privacy. I started off by asking Laura, what's happened?
Yeah, so there have been several reports in the national and international media this week of county court proceedings between two individuals regarding the use of smart doorbells. So smart doorbells record audio and sound in the surrounding area to which they're attached, usually to someone's front door or porch. So many people own this sort of technology to try to protect themselves, their families and their homes from crime, and also for the convenience of being able to deal with deliveries quickly to their property. So the media reports of the court proceedings say that the claimant and the defendant lived on the same street, and the claimant was particularly unhappy about the use of the defendant's smart doorbell, which was placed on the defendant's private property, but had apparently recorded personal data outside of the boundaries of his private property, obviously including the claimant, which the claimant said forced her to move out of her home as it was intrusive. The county court has apparently held that the defendant breached the claimant's rights under the UK General Data Protection Regulation and the Data Protection Act 2018, and in particular held that the recording of the claimant's personal data in that way was not fair and not transparent, which is a requirement under data protection legislation. It's also been reported that the claimant's claim is valued up to £100,000 and capped at that amount, which is the county court limit for claim value. So it remains to be seen what figure she'll be awarded in compensation.
And so for people like me and the millions of others who own one of these devices, should we be concerned, Laura?
Well, I think you're not alone in the potential concern there, which is why this case has sparked so much interest. Just because so many people actually use this technology now. Although it has caused concern, I think the key issue in this particular case seems to be that the technology used had a wide recording range, both in terms of the audio and the video recording, which makes it more difficult to justify the processing of other people's personal data that's captured by that device for the purpose of preventing crime. So the use always has to be weighed against other individuals' privacy and data protection rights. So in this particular case, the court found that the defendant's data processing went too far and breached the claimant's legal rights. There is actually an exemption under data protection law for personal data used for personal or household activity. So that acts as an exclusion from the UK General Data Protection Regulation for personal data falling under that description. I'm unsure whether the defendant tried to rely on that in this case, we don't know. But European case law has previously indicated that CCTV footage, which covers a public and not only a private space, would be caught by the data protection regime. So presumably analogies would have been applied and that argument might have failed. But as I say, we don't know, whether the defendant tried to rely on that at all. The key point is that people using this technology must consider the rights of others when they're using it, and other people's personal data, including images and speech, which might be captured by their devices. I understand that the technology does allow you to set the range when you use it in terms of the capture zone, so that's something to bear in mind, and also the location of any technology like that. Is it just capturing your own private property, or is it pointing into someone else's property or into a public street? Those are key considerations. The ICO, I believe, has also told the BBC that in the vast majority of cases, this kind of technology isn't going to pose a problem, but the ICO, who is the UK data watchdog, does expect people using the technology to consider the rights of others when they're using it.
So, Laura, for anybody who's concerned that one of these doorbells or a CCTV camera or another device is pointing towards their property or the back garden, what's your practical advice to them?
Well, they can contact us for legal advice. We have dealt with cases previously not concerning smart doorbells, but concerning the use of domestic CCTV imaging. Equally, they can contact the Information Commissioner's Office, who, as I've explained previously, is the UK data watchdog, who can deal with complaints about data rights being infringed.
And if you'd like to contact Laura, you can email insideman@jmw.co.uk or call 0161 82 81 999.
I'm Dominic Walker, JMW's Inside Man.